Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Ascend Tournament Series Mainstream. I'm Sporty FC. Joining me is IceColeBrew, and you are here for the start of the Ascend Tournament Series Paradise Cup 3. Here, sponsored by Team Evo, myself, Sporty FC, and Kyle G of House Wiffendor. Welcome to the action. Welcome to Paradise Cup 3, and welcome to Crew Battles events. We'll explain more about that soon enough, but for now, Cole, how are you feeling? It's the start of a new Paradise Cup, our third in ATS history, and that means the weirdness of this of our Paradise Cups come back as well, which I gotta say is always enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, I always love seeing a crew battle just because you get that versatility that I always miss in most
Yeah,
organizations of you can just watch threes or you just watch twos. Now you get a little bit of that mix up going in. And of course, we're going to have 100x Knights going up against Team Evo Academy as well. Team Evo Academy from the previous season, they were actually in the Phoenix Cup and they finished out in top four. They were actually in the semifinals at the very end of the day, and they're going up against the winners of the Pinnacle Cup. They're going up against 100x Knight tonight. And it's going to be such an exciting matchup. It's going to be a very tough hill for Team Evo Academy to climb them. But, with that crew battle mentality, they might be able to switch something up. Do you want to go into what a crew battle is?
yeah. I was gonna mention as well. Crew Battles is a really fun format. We've done it a couple times already, but to all of you who don't know what Crew Battles is, the format that we started doing in our Pinnacle Cup since Pinnacle Cup 2, not Pinnacle Cup, Paradise Cup 2. They both start with P. Is it is a chance for us to get to see the other game modes. We in ATS are known for 3v3, but obviously we don't just do 3v3 here. Not in our Paradise Cups here. Our Paradise Cups, again, are a chance to see everything. 3v3, 2v2, and 1v1. The way it works is we are going to start game 1 with 3v3 action. So don't worry, 3s isn't going anywhere. We still have a lot of 3v3 action. You'll get to see the game mode that ATS is known for. But after game 1, that's when things change. After game 1, the loser of game 1 in a best of 5 series will determine what game mode they want to play in game 2. 1s or 2s. We'll play that game mode. After that, game 3 is 3v3. Game 4 is the game mode not chosen. So it's either 1s or 2s. Whatever game mode wasn't chosen for game 2. And then game 5 is back to 3v3. A best of 7 is a little bit more complicated. We're not going to talk about that. All you need to know is that best of 7s will be here soon enough, but that will not be until March 31st for the ATS Season 3 Ultimate Cup, which is what we're seeing here, the Paradise Cup 3 Ultimate Cup. This is the Ultimate Division, as it is. This is round 1 of a 3-round group bracket here. So for each team, they play 2 matches in 3 weeks. After that, the top 2 teams out of 3 in each group will be going to our AFL bracket. It's a 2-day long playoff bracket, all of it which will be streamed here on May 31st and June 1st. So we'll have a lot of action to go for. But you mentioned as well our first match, our inaugural match in our Ultimate Division, 100x Knight versus Team Evo Academy. And you said it, Evo Academy have a very tough hill to climb here. Knight are our Pinnacle Cup champions, our ATS Season 4 Pinnacle Cup champions. Whereas for Team Evo, they got top 4 in the Phoenix Cup, a whole 2 divisions below the Pinnacle Division. But for Evo Academy, if there's one player I'm looking at to do well, it is going to be Pallets on Evo Academy. Not only is he their highest ranked player, in fact, he was so high rank when they played that he nearly got the team kicked up to the Apex Cup. So he's a pretty solid player here, Pallets. He's definitely good enough to make people notice, and if he's almost Apex Cup level, he's going to be the player that they need to rely on to, perform well, considering that, again, this is a Pinnacle Cup team they're taking on in 100x Knight, a team that, well, as we know, has some pretty solid players on their roster, considering that they have Perry, Jared, Bramble, and Manny Alar, who himself is another really, really solid 1v1 level player. So we're going to be seeing a lot of fun here, a lot of great players, but for Team Evo Academy in this matchup, they're really going to need to get Pallets involved, because if Pallets can play well, he will give this team a chance.
Yeah, Palp's going to be that crucial point for this team. They need to revolve their entire offense around them. If they can break through and find a moment where they can break down that offense from 100x Knight, because I remember watching them plenty of times before, whether it's up against Egoist, whether it's up against House Wiffendor, just a variety of teams. 100x Knight have been absolutely terrifying on the pitch. And I feel like they're very well rounded too. A lot of talented ones and twos, definitely leaning more towards twos. So if you are playing against 100x Knight and your team Evo, if you think you're going to have some difficulty going through game 3 and you end up not making through game 1, what is your plan for game 2? Do you try to stick to twos and hope that you can break them down that way, or do you try to isolate one of their top players and hope that Pallets can break away and get that victory for you?
Yeah, simply put, I don't think they're going to win 1v1. Even though I mentioned Palace being a solid player, they're not winning the 1v1 game mode. I think if you put any of the players on Herx Knight against any of the players on Team Evo Academy, they're probably winning the 1v1 matchup. It's just how the rank difference is. All the players
Mhm.
on Knights are about 2k, all the players in Team Evo Academy are not 2k. So there's a difference in that, and I don't think you win the 1v1 matchup if you are Team Evo Academy. So for them, they gotta rely on twos. They gotta rely on that 2v2 game mode with the players that they have, which is gonna be Kron, Pallets, and Zanestar. Zanestar was on Team Evo Academy in ATS Season 4. He was on with Guardian Leviosa, a team that also had a decent run in the Phoenix Cup. I don't remember how far they got, but I don't believe they made top 8. So he's another player that's been floating around to different rosters as well. No, he wasn't. He made top 12. I remember he made top 12
Yeah.
on with Guardian Leviosa. So a really good player, but again, they're going to need to rely on twos, and they're going to need to really rely on threes, because simply put, against the 100x Knight, you're not winning based on 1v1 ability. It's really going to come down to, can you catch this team off guard? Because Knight, for as good as they are a team that sometimes plays a bit lackluster, sometimes starts a bit slow. You really need to utilize that, especially in a best of 5.
Yeah, and I have to compare 100x Knight versus the 100x 35 team that competes in RLCS a little bit, because I know 100x 35 team, they play a little bit defensive. They play a little bit more passive. You know, you got like Scythe, you have Resinal, you have Pigeon on that roster, and they take control of the ball and they're able to set up these beautiful passing plays. 100x Knight, on the other hand, they sometimes get a little bit too caught up in their own motion. They get too caught up and just trying to find that shot. So if Team Evo Academy can slow them down, if they can force them to make mistakes, maybe cause the double commits on misrotation, that could be the way that Team Evo can break through in at least the first game. Now, if they go to twos or ones, that's going to be an entirely different story. It's just at the end of the day, it's going to come down to their game sense and mechanics. How well can they defend the net with the way the angles are coming at them, where their position on the field is going to be so important for them, and how quick can they recover? How quick can they react before that ball sails right past them into the net? And again, 100x Knight have a lot going for them. In fact, I think all of chat is tending to agree as well. As I look at the prediction we put up, about 83% of chat believe 100x Knight will take this versus the 17% Team Evo Academy have behind them at the moment.
Yeah, you said as well here. So, as we are, speaking of Knight though, we are waiting on them. They said they're having some issues with one of their players showing up. So we'll wait a little bit on them to join in here. But again, remind this is the start of the Paradise Cup 3. But Ultimate is not the only division. As we mentioned, this is the Ultimate Division. But there's another division. There's the Excellence Division right below it. So that's gonna start next weekend. If you next week, if you want to see the Excellence Division playoffs, again, same thing, top 8 in an AFL style bracket, which we've done before. That format will be on June 7th and June 8th of as well. So if you want to see that action, you will see it then. But again, we're gonna wait a little bit. Knight should be hopefully showing up any moment here. They said they were falling a little bit behind, but we've mentioned already how much we need to see out of Pallets. Who on Knight, Cole, since you've seen a good amount of 100x Knight in the past, who on that roster is the player that you're going to be looking at to perform here?
Well, if I'm honest, I really think it's going to be down to Manny. I really like the way Manny plays. Love the mechanical control and prowess. I think when it comes to 1v1 situations, though, Manny has slowed down a little bit. So I'm wondering if in the interim from that victory, if there were any points that he took away of, I need to just do this better, if I need to recover a little bit faster, or if he focused entirely on mechanical prowess, maybe he's find some new creative ways to find a shot on net. That would be impressive for me to see from Manny. I do think he's going to be one of the more important people, in my opinion, just overall. But I'm excited to see Perry on the pitch. I'm excited to see Bramble on the pitch as well. Bramble, just looking at his latest stats tracker
It's
real
pretty
quick,
solid.
kind of tanked on ones, and I'm going to poke fun of him, even though he's an entire rank and a half above me in ones. But
He's very good at ones, specifically in Heatseeker. He's a Heatseeker player. If you haven't known, he's actually known for playing Heatseeker a lot. So his ones rank is really, he's going to talk more about his Heatseeker rank. He's one of the best Heatseeker players out there. as
Reminds me of
well.
a guy
But
I know playing Rumble all the time.
he plays a lot of extra modes. But anyways, he's not showing up today. He's their sub. It is Jared, Manialar, and Perry, aka Per Scope. So everybody is here for our upcoming series, and that means, well, that means we are just about ready to get things underway. So let's get this match underway. Let's move to our best of 5 to start the season strong. Welcome to the Paradise Cup. This is the Ultimate Division. 100X Knight on the blue, Team Evo Academy on the orange, and the Paradise Cup begins. Both teams starting with rather respectable records, but of course, as time goes on, we'll see who goes. Again, you mentioned Knights are the heavy favorites in this matchup, but for Team Evo Academy, we'll see how they go. We start in 3v3, but obviously, as time goes on, we're going to be seeing a lot of other game modes reflected. This is a best of 5, so it is 3 wins to take your match in round 1, as Team Evo Academy do hold possession early, but for Knights, again, as you said, they start slow. They're probably just waiting to warm up.
Yeah, again, Perry did just turn on their PC at the moment. They had some issues coming through. As Krontek, fantastic save. Puts that ball down center, though. Dangerous positioning. Manny's going to come in, try to set that ball off to the side. He's going to break away, setting back on that for backward rotation link. Perry take a chance. Zane had the angle, but Perry was in the way. Nice anticipation from Perry in order to shut down that shot, which is a bit more what Team Evo need as Jared gets the bump, ball on target. Zane Star with the save.
He said a lot of blocks early, but here goes Perry. Goal 1 is for Knights. As a little play to the side wall, but it was not capitalized on by Evo Academy. And for Knights, you can't give this team room. You can't give them space. They will find ways to take full advantage. Goal 1 goes to the heavy favorites.
Fairly quick goal with just after a minute now for 100x9. It's going to be Manny upfield to Jared. Tries to find that connection. It's going back to Perry, though. Drops that ball down, and what a 50 from Manny. Just a bit more mass, a bit more body weight. Throws that ball through from the pass by Perry.
Yeah, as you said as well, it's a great pass and field, and Manny Alar on the end of that play, so we'll get things going. As people in chat saying, there's no game audio, we know. Don't worry, I recognize. We'll get it sorted out after game 1, but for now, Knights winning 2-0, and for Team Evo Academy, we said this is going to be the issue for this team. They're going to be playing an uphill battle against this 135 esports roster, a team that won the Pinnacle Cup. Again, they're not the only Pinnacle Cup team in this bracket. We have KCG Chaos in another group as well, but for Knights, there's some pressure on this team. They're the top team in their group by far. They're the number 1 team in this tournament as well. This team's expected to perform well. This team's expected to, in many ways, win here in Ultimate Division as well. So for them, they're just looking, I think, here for this first week, they're just trying to play well. That's a whiff from the backfield. Kron's going to take goal 1 for Evo Academy, as it was just a whiff from Jared and Manny Alar, a very uncharacteristic of our ATS Season 4 Pinnacle Cup MVP.
Yeah, Grontek just playing a bit too quick there. Outplayed themselves, had that ball sailing right across them, right over the head of 100x Knight, and that has to be frustrating for them as they give up that goal. But a little bit more motivation for Team Evo Academy to play a little bit more defensively. Pallets almost gets bumped out of the way. Instead, it's going back towards the half-court line as Manny fires towards the net. Over to Perry. Pallets just does not have that verticality. Ran on a flat tire, tried to jump up, get shut down, and that 2-goal lead returns to 100x Knight.
And it's Perry who now has 2 goals to his tally. We said a lot about how we wanted to see Perry play. He is the captain, so I see it as no surprise to see that he wants to be the one that shows up for this team. He wants to be the one that leads this roster. He was kind of an unspoken hero for 100x Knights in their playoff brackets, and a lot of that was because Jared just played so amazingly well. He's the MVP from ATS Season 4 for a reason, but Perry wants to get involved as well as infield play, a double commit for Team Evo Academy. Zane Star is that new addition as well, so see him added into this roster. He's a floater in a lot of ways, and early on, I think I can recognize that Evo Academy just has not had enough time to adapt to Zane Star's playstyle.
Yeah, it's that alacrity coming out from 100x Knight, especially with Zanestar getting caught up in the netting of the goal. Just all that momentum taken away. Could have gotten that save. However, just by hitting that goalpost, they lose so much momentum. They lose so much speed. And that's the name of the game. That's what 100x Knight have done so well so far. They anticipate each other's shots. They anticipate what Team Evo Academy is trying to do and shut it down fairly quickly. You can look at their positioning, pay attention to where they're at on the field, and you will be able to understand that they have a stronger concept of game sense versus Zanestar, who will be outplayed by Jared, who gets a nice cross-court field reset and drops that ball inside.
Unfortunately here, I think Zanestar outplayed himself because he left the nets to go to the back wall, not realizing that shot was coming in a lot faster than he expected. So he completely put himself out of position there without a chance to recover. And for Knight, it's yet another goal here in Game 1. We said for Evo Academy, they got to play well in 3s and 2s. And right now, one of those 2 game modes is, well, not exactly going well for them. As a great redirect from Perry. Pallets to the corner. He can hit the double tap, but it will be a bit too tough for him to get to as that ball bounces away from the field as Zane and Pallets trying to work together. A bit of a miscommunication there as an extra touch from Zanestar kind of poked it away from the teammates. And on next night, while they are sent back to defense again, it will not take too long before they go upfield for yet another play. Perry with space. The back wall is open, but Pallets will be there in time. Knight's going to go for the back pass. Manny actually had to jump in as well because Jared wasn't ready for that play. But again, 100x Knight individually just going up into these 1v1 plays, beating Team Evo Academy to the punch, beating them to the play, and not really playing that much defense. Evo Academy have 1 goal, but Knight have 5, and I think a better way to describe this game is that Knight have all the offense and Evo Academy do not.
Yeah, Evo Academy currently with 5 saves on the docket right now. Haven't really been able to break away from the overwhelming amount of pressure from 100x Knight. And again, a lot of it is just the way that folks like Perry and Jared have just been cutting off the passing plays, the shots from Team Evo. Zanestar trying to force their way through on that play won't be able to break apart. With 45 seconds left to go, not a lot of hope for Team Evo Academy to tie up the game, much less find any moments of victory, but they can at least try to get one more goal. But it looks like Manny's going to try and deny, sets up that pass to Jared back to Perry off the backboard with Krontek getting the save.
That is, and for Knight, the offense is slowed down here. Evo Academy's done well to solidify at the end of this game. Unfortunately, they're down by 4 goals, so it's not like it's going to really make too much of a difference anyways here, as Game 1 will go to its close here. Our inaugural series starting in Game 1, and Knight, as expected, the dominant performer right now for Team Evo Academy. They've got a big decision up next. Do you play 2s or do you play 1s? Because this game is well and truly over, and Knights are your winners.
And Knights able to overwhelm in 3s, and now they need to figure out what their opposition's going to come at them with. There's going to be 2s or 1s. Either way, I don't think the question is how well they'll do, but I think the question is who are they going to put in for each mode? Again, best of 5 series, they could easily sweep this through as Krontek has made the call for 2s at this point in time. So now, if you were playing 2s, in my opinion, who do you put up at the front for that? Because I think it's going to be Jared and Perry if I'm playing in 2s at the moment. While for Team Evo Academy, maybe Pallets and Krontek at this time. Krontek was doing fairly well on the offensive end, at least, trying to outbait 100x Knight. It'll be a tough matchup for them, no matter what.
I mean, no matter what is going to be a very difficult thing. I do wonder kind of how they're going to be able to step up to this pressure, because it is going to be rather difficult for them to get things going here, because simply put, they have a lot of work to do here. As again, I'm excited to see how things are going to go though for this team, because they're solid, they're talented, but my goodness, they are going to have quite a difficult time, to say the very least. As hopefully we now actually have the audio working correctly in game. Thank you all for telling me about the game sound. I'm trying to get that sorted out as we are speaking, but we do go to game 2 here, and well, 2s, again, as you said, is the call. So we'll see how things go here as we're in and we're ready. Oh man, the audio's still off. 1 second. Let's see if we can get things going here. But
Well, you're calling for that.
while we're hopefully gonna get this sorted out, we're in for game 2. The audio doesn't seem to be working on my side, so we might have to do this as a silent series. But all of you watching, I promise you the players can hear the in-game sound. But for now, it is 2v2, and it's Perry and Manny taking on Pallets and Krontek. So no surprise that the 2 players that were on Team Evo Academy before, the 2 that know each other best, are the 2 that are playing in this 2v2 game mode.
I am getting confirmation from chat that we do have audio currently, and I can actually hear it as well as Krontek gets the demo on
Perfect.
Perry. Looks for the opening, hot off the crossbar. I do appreciate that was half right on who was going to be on the field. I think Manny and Perry is still a fantastic combination. It looks like Manny's going to try and set up Perry. Perry was such a prominent striker in the threes mode. Now with a bit more space to move around, I imagine that him and Manny are going to be very aggressive off the offset as Perry takes control of the ball, goes for the center, sets it up for Manny, who's off on the right wing. One more touch, though, will send it inside. Aerial acrobatics abound. Manny drops it inside the post after hitting it out.
And as we said, 1v1 plays are going to be dangerous here for 100x Knight and for Team Evo Academy. And 2v2, as you said, there's more space and there's a lot more solo plays that are going to be inflicted. And again, for Knight, that's where they're going to be their strongest as they take a second right off the kickoff. Manny Alar will put it in the back of the nets. And for Evo Academy, you feel like this was probably the best choice out of the bunch, but it really feels like a least bad choice rather than a good choice.
Again, I think the question here is just speed. It's 100x Knight is playing so fast, so quick on the reaction time, while Team Evo is thinking 100x Knight is doing, and they are doing well. As that ball heads towards the net, Perry's not going to be able to catch that one up. Krontek overplays himself, swings wide. Perry will have the slow roller going in, and now it's a 3-goal lead before we hit the half.
And 100x Knight are going to be the ones happy with this, as Kron, you said, just overshot it. He must have been thinking that there was a shot. Maybe he was trying to rush into the play, thinking that he wasn't going to be back in time. Whatever it was, it's a goal for Knights, and Evo Academy have not scored, and we've only been 75 seconds into this game. So already, very quick start for Knight, as many expected, and well, in twos. Again, remember, this is the mode that Evo Academy are favored in, as oh, that should have been in right off the bar. It's a second shot up the crossbar. Evo Academy, in theory, they could have 2 goals in this game, but they've missed both their chances, and they're not going to get them back.
I appreciate Krontek going in for that demo, but Pallets had to play smart on spacing, had to step back because of that carry from Perry. Now in a 1v1 against Manny, tries to outplay him, gets a low 50. Perry, hard off the backboard, redirects upfield. Manny, rare miss on that touch as Pallets going to sail past. Wants to get one more, but gets knocked out by Perry. And going back to what you were saying too, Sporty, they should have had 2 goals. However, that crossbar has been a fiend against them, and I think it's just nerves as well too. They've just been overplaying, overthinking, and caught too much in the moment without playing in the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, and I mean both those nets were also wide open too, so they had to be overthinking as well. It's so easy when you see an open net, especially against a team as good as Knight that you would expect not to give you open nets like that. It is so easy to overthink the play when it comes to you, but yeah, simply put, those nets were open, they should have been goals, and Evo Academy will be kicking themselves knowing that they could be in this game, and yet they've missed their chances, but they will miss this one. Another open net given, and this time Evo Academy will not miss the targets.
I appreciate the spacing here between Krontek and Pallets. Pallets goes through, carries that ball, is well positioned for that air dribble, forcing Perry to challenge. Manny goes up to assist, and instead provides that opening for Krontek to find the goal. And I think that's going to have to be the way they need to play. They need to force 100x Knights to their pace. They need to force them to slow down and try not to make these absolutely insane redirects for a chance to target. As Manny puts that ball up high, it's a bit too fast, too furious, and will take the 3-goal lead right back.
I didn't think that clear was going to work as well as it did, but for Kron, he just got nervous. He left it into the corner, and then he didn't challenge Manny Alar. You can see the respect that Evo Academy are giving to Knights, but you can't give Knight respect. You can't give them space, and you definitely can't give them shots that close to the net there. A bad choice for Pallets in the corner, and one that is ultimately going to cost his team dearly as a play in the midfield. Perry was trying to find Manny Alar, but it will be Kron to take it away. Manny still has this one, and he may be looking for another goal, but Pallets clears it on by. Manny doesn't have boost. He's got to be careful of the bump attempt behind as Pallets challenged. Kron will take this one back, give himself some time, and he might go 1v1 with Manny. Off the ceiling, but a very heavy touch, and 100x Knight should be able to corral this one away to safety. As Manny passed one off the corner. Second touch, still Manny going all the way as Manny. 1v2, Manny Alar will do it all, and Evo Academy just not fast enough.
Just well-timed, fantastic touches from Manny, able to control that ball, curve it in the way that he wants in order to find the perfect feed, and in order to find that crack in the defense, which, don't get me wrong, Team Evo has tried to pick up their defense. Of course, this is a poor time to make that example, But Team Evo's been playing a bit better on defense, but they keep getting caught out just by well-maneuvered touches from 100x Knight.
Speed of Knight is so tough to counter. And I think we're getting a front row seat to why it is so tough to counter. This team won last, won in ATS Season 4 for a reason, and now they're just taking this against teams that don't even really have a chance against them. 7-1. I think this is a third kickoff goal this game for 100x Knights, so for them, their speed is just too much for Evo Academy. And considering our next game is 3v3 and that didn't go well for Evo Academy, this could be a very, very quick first series for both teams.
Now, I think what's terrifying to think about, too, is Manny has warmed up even more. Perry with the save, sets it up for Manny. Manny trying to go for the tight angle shot. Manny is just in his bag at the moment. Well-controlled touches, fantastic mechanical prowess. While Perry is the captain and was making himself known in Game 1, it's been Manny who has shown up in such a massive way in this 2v2. And now with 60 seconds left to go, looks like they're going to close this out and possibly with the Brazil.
Yeah, I mean, at this point for 100x Knight, they know they've won this game. I think they're just going for a little bit of fun here as Manny will make it 8-1. He's given an open net, and he will not have a problem taking it as well. 100x Knight will gladly walk on into this one as Manny will see the bottom left corner open. And, well, as expected, they have shown up very, very well here. So, 100x Knight inside the final minute at this point for both these teams, and Knight are just going to look to see how many goals they can score. Perry has his third this game, so he hasn't been scoring as much as he said as he did in Game 1 overall, but it doesn't really matter for Perry. He's let Manny Alar do his thing, and Manny Alar, I believe, is the highest ranked player on this team, so no surprise that in 2v2, which is what most of these high-level players like to play, he's finding his success, because this is the game mode he is very much most comfortable with. As Perry will take a 4th goal and a 10th. 100x Knights have hit double digits, and we still have 40 seconds to go.
Double digits and 1,000 points, shooting 10 for 13 throughout this entire match, and only just over half of these have been off of assists. Again, it's that prowess, it's that control, it's that high-level gameplay we truly anticipate to see from 100x Knight, and why they are one of the top contenders in a Sin Tournament series. As Perry sends his ball back, tries to go for a psycho, a little bit too slow, a little bit too low. Perry off target, hits it off the goalpost, is able to pinch it away, and now tries to find the pass back to Perry from Manny. Won't break through, but 20 seconds left to go. We're going to head back to 3v3 match point for 100x Knight as Pallet's going to drop this ball down, try to prevent one more goal, but a 10-1 scoreline is impressive, especially if you're 100x Knight.
Yeah, even for a Knight, I think they'll be pretty impressed with how they played here, because even against a team that they are expected to dominate, 10-1 is definitely saying something. That is a pretty strong performance for this team, and Knight will gladly take this as they will. And, well, we've got one more game to go here, at least for Knight, if they're hoping it's going to be one more game as we go into 3v3 mode once again. And, well, as we know, things could be very difficult for them here because this is going to be a very tough time. But as we've seen so far, Knights are the far stronger team for Team Evo Academy. Again, they had their work cut out for them for this series, and now with 3v3 mode ahead of them, I'm going to be very interested to see if they can make it any better than they did in Game 1. Because Game 1, I mean, they lost, what was it, like 5-1 in Game 1? I think the goal for Academy now, it's not even winning, it's just not losing as badly.
I'm inclined to agree. Like, there are times when you take losses and you have to just turn them into lessons, and I think that's going to be a point for Team Evo Academy. They need to realize they're playing a little bit slow here. They're not. Again, it is a MMR level difference. It's a skill difference between cups. However, in order to improve, you need to play against better opponents, because that gives you that space, that gives you that guideline, that syllabus in order to know where to focus, how to control the pace of the play, and improve yourself, finding other openings. As Perry's going to take that first goal fairly quickly, showing that you cannot give him space, especially when you challenge him in that corner.
Yeah, in 3v3s, there's a lot less room, which means that players like Perry, who keep things very simple, don't try to take as many solo efforts, are going to be a lot better, concerning that they don't have as much room to work with. So Perry getting things started. 8 seconds, as you said, not a very quick, not a very long time as Perry, he almost got a second one off the kickoff here as the next Knight all stopped moving. They thought that was all in, but it will go wide, although they're not going to be too concerned. As here goes Manny with room, flip reset, gets stopped by Pallets as Perry's gonna wait. Pallets doesn't have boost, and Perry knows it well. Bump on Kron, off the bar, in front for Perry, and it is a second for the captain.
Captain taking charge here, but I love Manny clearing out the demo, finds a bump on the way out just to clear up that goal for Perry. And within 30 seconds, 2 goals fairly quickly. Team Evo Academy need to pick up the momentum here and need to start trying to find more space for themselves. Don't allow folks like Perry to keep control. Zane starts going to pick up the first chance. Contact with a demo. Zane tries to put it towards center, will not find a target. Instead, it's got to be Pallet stepping all the way back in order to defend. Manny looking for another touch. Crossbar goes for the double tap, but it bounces down a bit too far away from the net.
Yeah, well, it was just a tough read for Manny, even for his level. That's moving far too fast. But for X Knights, inside a minute still, and again, they're just looking to make sure they make this easy for themselves. They, don't want to lose any games, that's for sure. Going into this final, going into what they're hoping to be the final bracket through the upper bracket. I mean, there's a lot of other very scary teams. For Knights, the teams that they're focused on right now are not teams in their own group. Again, the by far the highest ranked team in their group. The teams they're focusing on are teams outside their group in KCG Chaos and the esports. And I think for Knights, they want to make it known that they are not here to mess around, that those teams should be worried for them because, and again, if there's anyone that they're going to lose to, it's going to be those other teams that are also very, very high ranked that have or could play in our Pinnacle Cup, that are above that Knights United MMR level, because those teams could beat Knights.
Yeah, those teams could beat Knight. Jared, though, is looking to just beat out Team Evo Academy. Neither of the other Knight players really making a lot of presence known outside of the bumps and demos from Manny. All still running goose eggs on their stat sheet, at least for this game 3. As Manny, boom and clear over to the opposite side. Zane's got to get in the way as Jared was going up to try to redirect. Love that quick alacrity from this player as he sets it up off the corner post. Perry picks it up, Pallets with the dunk, sends it down low. Jared follow through bump. Frontek with the demo at half court, but that's not going to be enough to provide the space as he cannot control that ball out of the corner. Anticipated the challenge, but gets beaten out in the end.
That is X Knight keeping the ball away, and while they've been playing a lot of defense, this is the most they've played at any one stretch of time. You can still tell they have ball possession. They're just waiting for Evo Academy to put themselves thin. They may have done so here as Manny, drop down double tap, will be cleared back by Krontek. Perry waits under this one as he'll chip it up his own crossbar. Manny trying to catch Zane Star awkward, but Zane saw it coming, and Knights will keep the ball, but will go for another play as Jared and Manny both jump in. Perry will actually win the race to the ball, but nobody will hit it, and Team Evo Academy will take possession again, but not for long as Jared will wait, flip midfield, nobody waiting as Knights will keep it, outward pass, but again cut away. Evo Academy playing a lot more aggressive at this point, and it really does feel like this is like a last hurrah for this team. Go and do everything you can to get upfield, to get chances, to maybe put pressure on Knights and get some goals.
Perry, dangerous positioning, puts it on the left post, but it's enough for Manny to jump up with no boost in the tank, able to counter, sends that ball off and away. Feels like they're just allowing Perry to go ham on the aggression, trying to give him as many options to score as Perry picks up a demo. Jared might be looking for a shot. Upfield to Perry, denied by Pals as Zane Star picks it up, sends it off to the half-court line, less than 80 seconds to go. Pinches it towards center. Can Pals get the ball? No, just a bit outside. Krontek on that left post as well. Perry upfield to Jared. Will not go through as they send it down to the bottom 90.
It is a minute to go here, and 100X Knights just holding on to a 2-goal lead. It's the closest we've had any of our games be so far as Zane, Sakran, Perry, and Manny Alar and 100X Knights are actually looking for that third goal. They do not feel comfortable only being up by 2 here against this Team Evo side, so they're doing everything they can to take a goal late. Evo Academy holding on as they've left the net open there. Zane once again went to the back wall far too late, but no shot there. Knights will go for the play, but it's Zane. Long touch. Perry will wait on this as it's off his own back corner. Pallets trying to check the tight angle. Manny is waiting for it in Team Evo Academy. Will once again look for the midfield. Perry's on the wrong position, but Zane couldn't tuck it under the crossbar. And Team Evo Academy running out of time to have any comeback of any sort happen as Knights keep the ball away and keep their net clean.
Man, just so difficult to tuck in those high angle shots as Krontek's going to break away here, has one more chance to find a goal. Pinch from Perry, sends it off towards the upper field. It's a pack over to the orange side of the pitch. It's going to be Pallets with the final say on what happens as 100X Knight will close out game 3, 3-0 sweep for the very first match, for the very first week of the Paradise Cup 3 Ultimate Division Round 1.
Yeah, it is. That is exactly what we expected out of this 100X Knight roster. Coming into this one as the heavy favorites, we expected them to dominate. And they did that for the first two games. Game 3 was close, but even then, you never really felt too nervous for Knights and how they played. I mean, they took things pretty simply, they took things pretty chill, but Knights gotta win these matches. Even though they are the high seed, you don't get any free match wins here. You gotta play every series you get. So for Knights, they play this. Reminder, you only get 2 matches in this group stage, so you gotta make every series count. Game differential is going to matter, and for Knights, this is the start that they were looking for. Win your matches, make it easier for yourself, and reminder, if they win out the group, they also get a second life in the final bracket. So that's huge for Knight. They really don't. If they lose that top spot, they gotta win 4 matches straight, and that is no easy feat.
That's no easy feat. And with that victory, too, I believe, if I have this right, 100X Knight will be going up against their own organization next week as well. They'll be going up against Vagabond next week for week 2 whenever we get ready for that next round. But overall, though, they have to be really happy with how they perform. They have to be very satisfied with the space that they were able to maintain, that momentum and pressure they were able to put on Team Evo Academy. Evo Academy, they were figuring it out come to the latter half of game 1. However, they got shut down in game 3, just struggling to find that net, struggling to find that accuracy in the final moments. And that cost them so heavily, especially at the speed 100X Knight was playing.
As you said as well, and we are going to get a short interview in as well, so we're going to get some players. We're just going to drag them in for just a little bit, a short little interview. I know for Knight, they're pretty busy, and I think they said that they have something that's happening later tonight, so we're not going to waste too much time. But joining us here is Perry, Periscope. Welcome back in. It's, I thought, I didn't know when we were going to see you again in ATS, but obviously it was not that long here, so welcome back in, 100X Knight. You start your Paradise Cup 3 off with a 3-0 sweep over Team Evo Academy, as many expected. How are you guys feeling? It's a new it's a new kind of format for you guys as a team, but you came into this as the favorites and you got the job done. How are you feeling?
I mean, yeah, I'm feeling good. I thought it was gonna be easy, I'm not gonna lie, but I didn't think it was gonna be that easy. I was I was half awake the entire series, and it's kind of free, respectfully.
I mean,
Um,
you have to keep in mind too that you were one of the top contenders in the previous season for the Pinnacle Cup as well. And so with that in mind, what did you all take away at the end of the previous season in order to help yourselves prepare for crew battle? Like what is one mode that each and every one of your players in your roster needed to focus on in order to set up for this new season?
say what mode,
Yeah,
I
what
guess.
mode?
Well, obviously we all play twos because that's just what everyone plays. So, I mean, we just decided to put Jared on ones because he plays the most ones, and then just me and Manny on twos. So we didn't really prepare much because me and Manny just can take over twos, and we play that like all the time anyways. And then Jared will,
Mhm.
he'll handle the ones whenever we need him to.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see you guys kind of split up those roles like that. But coming to this one, you said it. You said it as well. You guys come into this one as a high seed, but what was it like playing crew battles? I know for a lot of teams, especially even high level teams, crew battles is a bit of a weird format for a lot of people. So, and it's new for a lot of people. I know for you at least, you're used to playing in very unique game modes, considering that you are also a pretty solid extra modes player as well, as is Manny Alar. Does that experience in extra modes for all of you guys? Does that help you guys when it comes to playing weird modes like crew battles?
Um, I mean, yeah, not necessarily the extra modes, but just like the formats. I'm used to the formats, and I have a fun time playing uh crew battles too, which is why I'm kind of surprised there wasn't as many teams as I thought there was gonna be, or like good teams at least. I thought a lot of people would play this. I like playing this, but yeah.
So going through the rest of the format for this season as well, is there any team at the end of the season that you really look forward to facing off against overall? Or do you have any specific plans for any organization whenever you match up against them in the coming weeks?
Well, I haven't really taken a look at the teams, but do you guys know like the best team or the second best team on papers?
It would be
You guys
KG
know?
Chaos or NDL Esports. Both those teams. Yeah, I
Um,
think it's slightly higher ranked team.
yeah, I think they sound familiar, but we're just looking to clean sweep the league. That's our goal
Well,
mainly.
you did play Chaos last in ATS Season 4, so I'm not surprised that you know who they are. But yeah, as you said, again, those are the other teams. They're in other groups, so I know you're looking forward to them as well. But Perry, we're not going to keep you too long as well here, since you guys obviously got your win, and obviously you want to go and probably go to sleep. You sound pretty tired here. But of course, before you go, do you have any shoutouts, any last things you want to say as well? Anybody else you want to mention out there that is supporting Knight as you guys go through ATS Paradise Cup 3 and and other events as well? Is there anybody else that you want to mention?
Well, yeah, shout out my teammates obviously, and shout out our manager. He handles the scheduling stuff. He makes it easier for us. Shout out Thrifty. But,
Yeah, we never mention Eric. We never mention Eric on Night, but yeah, that is the manager as you mentioned. So thank you so much for joining, Perry. Again, congrats on your field sweep here for 100x Night. You guys are getting the job done here as you guys prepare for the rest of the season. For now, have a great rest of your day, and I'm sure we'll see you guys again on the stream soon enough. But for now, take care, and hopefully you sleep well.
yeah, thank you. It is.
Well, Cole, that's the end of our inaugural match here in ATS Paradise Cup 3. As Perry said, this was meant to be an easy match for Knight, and it was an easy match. They got the job done here. Before we go, do you have any last words that you want us to mention?
Oh, the Paradise Cup continuing on. We do also have season 5 of ATS coming up as well. So I hope plenty of people come in to sign up for that, because that's going to be an absolute banger of a season for all different skill levels as you're getting ready for that. I know you're putting on a lot of work as a TO to do so. And then, of course, Sporty, thank you for having me on as well. It's been fantastic to cover this action and getting to watch crew battles, especially of a high level team like 100x Knight right now. And I can't wait to see how the rest of the week rolls out and what comes up in the coming weeks.
Yeah, of course. You guys want to see IceColeBrew? TTV/IceColeBrew. So go show support. I know you're gonna be streaming 2 matches tonight, so I don't want to waste too much of your time. But to all of you out there, thank you so much for joining this Untournament Series Paradise Cup 3. This was the Ultimate Division Round 1, our inaugural matchup. A reminder, we'll be doing this for the next 4 weeks, next 5 weeks, I should say. We'll be having Paradise Cup action, and as he mentioned as well, he took my job. ATS Season 5 signups are open. Join the Sun Tournament Series Discord as well to sign up for Season 5 Division. $800 in prize pool, and if you guys don't like crew battles, there are no crew battles in ATS Season 5, so you get to go and play in 3v3 action. So for all of you out there, go show support, go join for ATS Season 5, and make it something special, and maybe just win a little bit of extra cash as well. To all of you watching, thank you so much. Have an amazing rest of your night. This is IceColeBrew and Sporty FC from the Sun Tournament Series Mainstream. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you guys again very soon. Take care.